This is the book of Job, chapter 8, verse 8. For inquire, I pray thee, of the former age, and prepare thyself to the search of their fathers. Verse 9. For we are but of yesterday, and know nothing, because our days upon earth are a shadow. Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Shai, Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Shai. Yahweh is the name who the world ignorantly calls God, and Yahweh Shai is his son who the world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ. First and foremost, I want to give all praises and all glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Rakak Wadash. Double honors to the apostles of Great Millstone who rule well and taught us this truth. They are the true teachers for the nation of Israel on earth today. And salutation to the Akim out there pushing this truth and sincerity throughout the four corners of the earth and risking their life for Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai's sake. I'm Brother Samak from the GMS Miami camp. And yes, the reason why I brought out the book of Job, chapter 8, verse 8 through 9, is that I came across this article today by CBN News, all right? And they're reporting how over in our homeland, all right, they discovered, the small hats discovered, that's the day, a fortified building that goes back to the time of the Maccabees, all right? Mainly the battle between the Hasmonean dynasty, all right? The Maccabees against the Idumeans, all right? And the Greeks. And this is powerful stuff because this proves that, one, the Apocrypha is part of the Bible. For you plantation Christians out there, especially dwelling here in Babylon the Great, okay? The Apocrypha is part of the Bible because in order for you to get into the history of the Maccabees, you need the Apocrypha. And number two, we're approaching Hanukkah, okay, or in the Hebrew, it's Hanukkah, which means dedication and consecration, right? And I believe the Feast of Dedication, which is also is known as Hanukkah, is on the 25th of the Sunday at sundown, all right? The 25th day, and that lands on a Sunday at sundown, all right? If you count off the new moon, which is started November 4th, that Thursday night, and you count 25 days from that day, you get the Sunday on the 28th, okay? That's sundown, okay? Because remember, we're going according to the moon to count our days, not according to the Gregorian calendar. And it's funny because even the 1948ers, the small hats, they are even getting it, okay? Hanukkah 2021. Check this out. Right there, okay? Which I believe they're following us. They're following the Hebrew Israelites that came out of One West, all right? Because they it's 25 days from the new moon, which was on November 4th of that evening. Just want to throw it out. That's why we got to search out our forefathers, okay? Let's read this again. Job 8 and 8. For inquire, I pray thee, of the former age, and prepare thyself to search of their fathers, right? Our fathers, okay, which are the Israelites, all right, the descendants of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Okay, Jacob had 12 sons, all right? We got to go into the time of the Maccabees, all right? We have to acknowledge our high holy days. 9, for we are but of yesterday and know nothing because our days upon earth are a shadow, right? Okay, especially here in Babylon, all right? We were destroyed as a nation here. We lost our identity here, okay? Now we're remembering ourselves. That's why it says in Baruch chapter 4, verse 28, For as it was your mind to go astray from the Most High power Yahweh, so being returned, seek him 10 times more. 10 times more. And that's what we're supposed to be doing continually. All right? Now let's go into this article. This is powerful stuff what they say here. And this cuts you plantation Christians, all right? This cuts you dumbass Americans, all right? We know who we are now, all right? We're the Israelites, all right? The Holy Bible is our book. It's our history book. It was written by Israelites for Israelites, all right? And the Apocrypha is included in there. The 1948 archaeologists have uncovered evidence that they contend that backs up the story of the Israelite victory over Greek rulers, right? Because this is the time of the Hellenistic period, okay? You also had you also had the Idumeans, the Edomites, who didn't want to take on their brethren's calling themselves Greeks, okay? But they all knew their lineage went back to Esau, Edom. Events that are connected to the celebration of Hanukkah, or in the Hebrew, Chanukah, dedication, consecration. More than 2,000 years ago, a hilltop fortress with a commanding view was supposed to protect the Greek-ruled city of Marisha. Right, now when you go into this is powerful stuff right here. Marisha, it says, Tel Marisha is the tell of a biblical Iron Age city of Marisha and the subsequent post of 586 BCE, Idumean city, known by the Hellenized name Marisa, right? The Idumean city, Edomite city, all right? Because they knew that their lineage went back to Esau, Edom, okay? And guarantee you probably had, all right? I want to say probably, I believe it did happen. You got the Greeks, like, hey, let's cover up our tracks, telling these Idumeans, these Edomites, hey, don't call yourself Edom anymore. Call yourself Greeks. Let's cover up our track. Because, you know, this devil wants to hide himself. He wants to hide his identity. He's been doing it, all right, since he's been calling himself a Greek, trying to hide himself. And you're not the original Greeks. But Israel Antiquities Authority archaeologists, all right, excuse me, this is the Israel Antiquities Authority. I'm assuming this is an institution. Archaeologists digging in the Lachish forest say it didn't work. They say they have evidence of the Hesmonian Hebrew victory, right? Judas Maccabees, the Maccabees, better known as the Maccabees, over the Seleucid Greek rulers. Right, this is the time of Antiochus Epiphanes. Despite Seleucid attempts to fortify and protect the encampment, what we discover here actually connects with the story of Hanukkah and the Hesmonian revolts against the Greeks and the Idumeans, the Edomites. The excavation revealed I'll jump down to the point right here. Check this out. Quote, we believe that the destruction was done by the Hesmonians as part of their conquest of Idumea. What's Idumea? Idumea, Edom, was an ancient kingdom. Wow. There you go. So it's talking about the Edomites. Idumea was the name of the area at the time and comes from the biblical name Edom. There you go. All right. So this is a remembrance of us taking down these Edomites. Okay. Taking these Idumeans down. And this is how you know we have been battling against the so-called white man since antiquity, okay? So-called white man. He was calling himself Edom, then he called himself Greeks, all right? Or Idumeans. This is what's been going on. That's why you got to go into the history. Is there any more on this? The Hesmonian Jews were descendants of the legendary Maccabee family that rose up against the idol-worshipping Greek Seleucid rulers of the day. As part of the revolt, they cleansed the Israelite temple in Jerusalem and found enough oil to burn the temple menorah for one day. According to the story, it burned for 8 days, and thus the 8-day holiday of Hanukkah was born. Right. All right. The Lord allowed it to burn for 8 days. Okay. Though Hanukkah, also known as the Feast of Dedication, isn't mentioned in the Old Testament. It's mentioned in the Apocrypha. All right, because that's the time of the Greeks. That's when you get the Greek history. All right. It is in the New Testament, the book of John 10, 22, and 23, which I have. All right. Well, I'll read it first. John chapter 10, verse 22. And it was at Jerusalem, the feast of dedication. It was winter. All right. Which that goes to show you, all right, the time we're in. All right. We're heading into the winter. In fact, it looks like isn't it going to there's going to be some type of storm coming to the northeast of Babylon the Great over the holidays? The Lord going to jack up your Thanksgiving BS celebration. And you wicked Jake celebrating Thanksgiving, you're off, man. You're off. You're supposed to be celebrating, okay, the high holy days, Hanukkah, all right, or in the Hebrew, Hanukkah, which means feast of dedication. Dedication, consecration. In particular, the annual feast celebrated 8 days beginning the 25th of Shalev, right? And this would be between November and December, okay? Or they went off here because it could be between November and December. Remember, the November and December, those are, okay, Gregorian calendars, months. Instituted by Judas Maccabees in memory of the cleansing of the temple from the pollution of Antiochus Epiphanes. Wow. So Yahushua, who the word English calls Jesus, was participating in this high holy day. All right. And let's go to Shalev. Let's see what they say here. Shalev is the 3rd month of the civil year and 9th month of the statistical year of the Hebrew calendar, right? And we did have our first month in March, okay, of the Passover. March, April, May, June, July, August, September, October, November is the 9th month, okay? And we had the new moon, the November 4th. So count that 25 days once again, and it will land on the 28th of Sunday. So yeah, okay. This is what we're supposed to be acknowledging. This is supposed to be what we're supposed to be celebrating. All right, these high holy days, and remembering our forefathers smacking the shit out of these crackers, which call them so-called white people, but they were calling themselves Greeks and Idumeans, okay, in antiquity, and they're the biblical Edomites. All right. Deuteronomy, I'll close up with this. Deuteronomy 30:1. Because this is for the elect, okay? This is for the Shahaba Kayar, which means pertaining to the elect, all right? Because this is the only elect that are going to see this and be boosted up in the spirit. And why do you think the Lord is showing all this? Because, hey, the Lord's coming back to smack these Edomites up, take them out of power, all right, and put us back into power, all right? This is what the end of days is all about. And this is what we're supposed to be acknowledging. This is very spiritual. Deuteronomy 31. And it shall come to pass when all these things are come upon thee, the blessing and the curse which I have set before thee, and thou shalt call them to mind among all the nations whither the Lord thy power have driven thee. Right. And this is the time to call it to mind. Okay. Why did we go into captivity? All right. Oh, we went against our power. What were we supposed to be doing? Acknowledging our power, acknowledging the high holy days that he set up, not participating in Thanksgiving and piece of shit, okay, Christmas. 2, and shall return unto the Lord thy God, and shall obey his voice according to all that I command thee this day, and thou and thy children with all thy heart and with all thy soul. And that's why you got to search out your forefathers. All right, you got to go into the history. Okay. Once again, all right, I'm being edified from this. This is powerful stuff. Okay. That's why when you go into the New Testament, you get a clear understanding who them Gentiles were. Why did Paul say no Jew or Greek? Okay? Because you're going into the history. You're understanding now, all right? You're putting the puzzle together, the pieces. All right? Those Greeks are talking about Greek-speaking Jews that spoke the language because of the time of the Maccabee and the time of, all right, the Greek rulership. What was going on in that time period? The warfare. All right, being taken down, losing our language. 3, that then the Lord thy God will turn thy captivity and have compassion upon thee, and will return and gather thee from all the nations where the Lord thy God has scattered. Right, and then we're coming to this, the deliverance. We're going to be gathered from wherever we're scattered at. For if any of thy be driven out of the uttermost parts of heaven, right, meaning wherever in the earth, okay, from thence will the Lord thy God gather thee, and from thence will he fetch thee. 5, and the Lord thy God will bring thee into the land which thy fathers possessed, and thou shalt possess it, and he will do thee good, and multiply thee above thy fathers. Okay? And so this is what we're getting ready for, the deliverance, to go back into our homeland. All right? So we can do this high holy day in perfection. Okay? Because the Hanukkah that's coming up, all right, this is our high holy day. We're going to be doing this in the homeland continually, and we're going to be speaking the Hebrew language, which brothers, all right, can say the Kanaka way better than me, all right, which means dedication, consecration, the dedication, the feast of dedication, remembering, okay, what happened in the time of the Maccabees. So, hey, Lord willing, this lesson is edifying. Hey, we got the 100% truth. The Apocrypha is part of the Bible. All right, we're about to celebrate our high holy day. All right, the Feast of Dedication, all right, Hanukkah, or in the Hebrew, Kanaka, which is the dedication, the Feast of Dedication, and remembrance of what happened in that time period with the Maccabees and these Edomites, these so-called white people, when they would call themselves Edomites and Greeks, the Seleucus dynasty, right? So, hey, this is powerful stuff. And we're almost out of here, brothers and sisters. The Lord is showing things, and we just got to keep going harder, keep studying, okay? Keep going deeper into the history to the best of our ability, to the measurements that the Lord gave us. And with that, I want to give all praise and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashim Yahushai, Ba'ashim Rakak Kodash. Double honors to the apostles of Great Millstone who ruled well and taught us this truth. They are the true teachers for the nation of Israel on earth today. And salutation to the Akim out there, pushing this truth and sincerity throughout the four corners of the earth and risking their life for Yahweh, Ba'ashim Yahushai's sake. Love you, brothers. Keep enduring, keep the faith. We're almost out of here. Keep pushing, keep fighting, keep studying, keep praying. To the few sisters that are watching, keep studying, keep praying. Shalom and abad ball. Shalom.